Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So today we got to talk about a YouTuber named Tavarish. He is a person who goes and buys some really beat up, salvaged cars. He fixes them up and then races them. But today he's trying that now with something that I'm very familiar with, and that would be real estate. He just bought a quite a big fixer-upper house, and today I wanted to comment on it right after, of course, you hit the like button and subscribe, because trust me, this house needs a lot of work. It is a bit of a disaster. So let me show you what I mean.
So instead of me buying an abandoned mansion or buying a piece of land and building my own house from scratch, I did something a little bit different and spent my entire life savings on a very, very old house that needs a lot of work and has been neglected for the last 10 years.
10 years ain't bad, though. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of properties in Los Angeles that were neglected for decades. I'm talking about someone has lived there since the 40s and not done a single thing. Like, replaced shower heads, watered the lawn, like stupid stuff. And then you get into it and realize the house is falling apart. I've seen some houses where it would cost just as much to fix up the house as the house costs. Like, they're selling it at land value. So this could be quite expensive.
So now I'm going to take you around the grounds, and then we're going to go into the house, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a house tour, and I'm going to show you everything wrong with the house and everything that we're going to be fixing on a budget and with a lot of elbow grease in the coming weeks and months.
Incredible how the landscape of YouTube is shifting. We're going from cars to real estate. I'm all for it. I love that. How do you one-up real estate then? Is it like buying a boat? Just bought an airplane and it needs a ton of work, guys. It barely flies. We're going to fix it up. I could see this totally going into aviation at some point.
So that gives me a great segue to introduce today's sponsor, Vessi Shoes.
Oh, I actually really like Vessi. We did a sponsorship with them a long time ago, and they never wanted to renew because apparently they never converted, which is a shame because, I kid you not, I wear my Vessis pretty much every single day. Like, chances are, if you ever see me out, I'm wearing my Vessis. I've been wearing them nonstop the last 2 years. They're great shoes, just they're expensive. It's like a $120 pair of shoes, and I think you guys watching don't want to spend $120 on a pair of shoes. They're great shoes, though. I like them, but yeah. Sorry, Vessi.
So welcome everyone to my driveway. This is where the cars are usually parked, but they're not parked today because all my cars are at the shop. I do have a few cars in the garage, and I know a lot of you probably are wondering what kind of garage a car guy would have, and it's this. Check it out. It's a 2-car garage.
I don't think he needs a huge garage at his house, though. I mean, all you need, really, for any sort of car YouTuber is a really cool warehouse. Now, I know the Stradman, he's the exception. He built his warehouse at his house. I think that's pretty smart. But for most people, a good warehouse that does the same trick, way cheaper, and it's easier to write off on your taxes.
If you come in here, you'll see that there's a bunch of dirty laundry, and you'll notice I have a washer and dryer here that we tried to fit in here, and it didn't fit.
See what he did. He just took off the drywall on the right side. Smart. It's not bad. It's a good idea. You know, I think in the future he could probably just get a stackable. Might have been easier, but if he's taking this from another property, hey, you know what? It works.
In Florida, houses don't really have basements, and that's because the ground is essentially made of sand. The foundation isn't really made for any basements, but since this house is so high on a hill, then we actually could have a basement down here.
See, I believe a lot of that, too, is because of flooding, is that Florida is prone to these huge, just like rains and torrential downpours, and having anything where the ground could suck up the water and then you have a structure that's underwater, prone to flooding.
Since the old owners moved in the 90s and they have not opened it, there might be something in here. If any of you know how to open a safe, maybe we'll make a video about opening it.
That's how does the owner live in a house with the safe and not want to open it? That would be the first thing that I would do. The second I close on the house, I'd be opening up the safe. I'd just take a sledgehammer to it. I don't know, hire a lock-picking guy, drill into it. I don't care. I'd be so curious. This deserves a whole video, honestly.
This is a air handler that is leaking water. And fun fact, this house has 6 air conditioning systems, 6 ACs. So if you think that one of those are expensive, I got 6 of them.
$50,000 to replace about 6 of them. Labor, materials, all that sort of stuff. So that's not cheap. But hey, you know what? Depending on how good of a deal you bought on the house, Could be, just the cost of doing business.
They renovated this house and built a ton of stuff on top of the existing structure. They redid the hardwood floors, and it has a lot of like old house feel, but it has some new amenities like new plumbing and new electricity, stuff like that. So that way it's not an actual old house falling apart, it's a newer house falling apart.
What a lot of people do for those AC units, by the way, is they try to hide them with shrubbery, which makes sense. You don't want to be looking at this horrible looking AC unit. But the issue is that you're not supposed to have anything within like a few feet of there because it obstructs the airflow. Usually it's not that big of a deal, but it does put additional stress on the system. So you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, hey there. I didn't notice you standing there. Come on in, come on. So welcome to my little slice of heaven. And check out this backyard. This is quite possibly the most baller backyard I've ever seen in any house that I could remotely afford, but
look at those columns back there. It's like he's got a Zen-like White House back there. Oh, and then look at the pool. He's got a swamp there. I wouldn't be surprised if like an alligator just pops out.
It has a waterfall, it has a diving board and a slide, and it is green and it looks like a swamp.
You know what? I've not seen a diving board in such a long time. Those are lawsuits waiting to happen. Better have good insurance for that.
So this is a tree that makes limes. It's a lime tree. And these limes are super, super limey. They're limey. They're very good. They're organic, and they save me at least $37 a year.
I love that. You just need an avocado tree now. That'll save you a few $1,000s a year.
And I think we can use this space better. Maybe if we put like a little gazebo here or a fire pit and not have something that could potentially kill somebody.
Basically, yeah, this used to be a thing. People have gotten too soft these days. I mean, come on. This is character building. You just have to be careful. Ah, man. Like, this was my childhood. Going up on those things, ricking them back and forth. Your hands are wet. You have to pray you don't fall off. The diving board, you have to hope that you don't hit your head. Just be careful.
The old owner told me that you definitely don't want to put these valves in the wrong direction or else the whole thing explodes. I am now an expert on pools, except for the fact that I have no idea how any of this works. This is a salt pool. It doesn't have like traditional chlorine in it, so it has salt cells, which is really cool. Apparently it's lower maintenance than a chlorine pool, and it also feels kind of nicer, but there's salt cells right here. It's all electronic.
It's good. The thing with chlorine is that if you're in the pool for a while, you get out, your skin's so dry, it just like absorbs all the moisture from your skin, obviously. But yeah, salt water is always better.
One of the things I really love about being back here is you just come up here and there is a summer kitchen, which it's not summer, so that's why it's broken. It's actually been broken during the summer as well because nothing works in there. Right up here is a place where people can congregate.
Oh man, it looks filthy. I mean, the thing is, this needs a good cleaning. I mean, this could be probably fixed up for like 15 grand to get everything working. Some nice furniture, they can make that really nice. Put some hanging lights over here, those Edison bulbs. You can make this really cool.
There's another thing that other Florida houses don't have that this house has, and it is right back here, and it is, it's pretty weird. This is a bomb shelter.
Whoa! That's kind of cool, though. To see your house has a bomb shelter in it.
And the previous owners who were here since the 90s never went in it. Like, there's a whole big bomb shelter down here, and nobody's been in it for at least 30 years.
I would go down there, go exploring. Again, this would make a whole new video. Exploring my bomb shelter. Unopened for 30 years. Not clickbait. Must watch. Remember that? People always put must watch.
Moving on from the house and all those mosquitoes to a place where there's probably a little bit more mosquitoes, the lake. I'm gonna attempt to walk on this dock and get all the way over there, but it's a little creaky. The wood is creaking underneath me. See, it's...
Wow, yeah, this whole thing probably needs to be redone. Gorgeous spot though, but yeah, I would do something, make it larger, put some railings on that so you don't fall in, and then maybe put some mosquito netting or like do some sort of enclosed thing at the very end. That would be nice.
Welcome to the inside of the house. This is the kitchen, and it needs a little bit of renovating. It has a style that is straight out of 1979. If you look down, you'll see, number one, a dog and a cat, but you'll see hardwood floors. Like, these are actual hardwood floors from the 1960s, and for the most part, they're in okay shape, but in some other parts, they're really not in good shape, so we have to redo some of that.
The issue, though, is that it's very hard to match hardwood floors. Yeah, there we go. Save the applause. But anyway, hard to match the hardwood floors throughout the house. Usually when you do a substantial renovation, you replace everything, so that way it's uniform. Even if you replace it with the exact same wood, sometimes the sun miscolors it a little bit. It changes the shade of the wood. So that's one of the reasons why.
If you take a look up at the top, it's just a, yep, that's an indent in the wall, and it does nothing. There's no way to access any of that. There's a green that's darker than the green that's on the wall, and it makes no sense.
Well, you know what? You could put something up there for decoration. I don't know, put like a mannequin up there. Just freak people out. That's what I'd do.
This sort of makes the house for me. Like, if you look at the beams, the exposed beams, this house was built.
Ooh, I love the exposed beams. That's something I've always wanted, is a house with those beams like that. Can't find them. You know, it's a very common California feature, but we're in Vegas now, so they don't really do that, unfortunately.
This is what I'm going to use as an office slash game room, and it's really, really echoey in here. I'm going to redo the floors and make it a little bit more cozy.
It's huge. He's got a lot of square footage. Plenty of room for activities in this house.
So many activities!
Here's a room that I never, ever thought I'd have in a house, and that is a sauna. This has a full Swedish sauna, and if we come in here, it gets up to 200 and something degrees in the sauna.
What? How does it go to 200 degrees in a sauna? I feel like, don't they cap out at like 150, something like that? That's a straight up another lawsuit waiting to happen.
This is the most ambitious project I've ever had on the channel, and it's the most fun I think we're gonna have on this channel. So until next time.
I love it. It's gonna be an expensive project, but you know what the good thing with this is that you could do it over time. So he doesn't have to do everything all at once. So this is probably, in my opinion, a 3 to 7 year project, depending on how quickly he wants to go. And he'll never be done with this house. From my experience, I've never once seen a person actually finish the house. There's always something else that just doesn't get done. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to add me on Instagram, and until next time.